if that was my team.
Smashing things, like, I just want to punch things. Like.
Hello, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and today we just witnessed
the Blue Jays winning the World Series.
No, let's not even kid ourselves, Nick. It's not the Blue Jays winning the World Series. It's not. Well, the people who defeated us in the wildcard series just got defeated by the expected champions, which is the LA Dodgers, who won their first championship in over 30 years.
Yeah.
So congratulations, first of all, to the LA Dodgers.
Big shout out to the LA Dodgers.
And we're just going to talk about reactions, talk about what happened, and one key thing I want to talk about is analytics versus our eyes.
Can totally agree, bro. Before
that,
I
was gonna say
you want to do it?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Before we get into that, please, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below on the YouTube, ring the little notification bell. Also, check out in our description if you want to become a Patreon member and give us your money.
Yes, $3 can get you something to say on this podcast. We'll say it right away.
Literally, anything that you want.
Anything like Blue Jays. I'm not even gonna say it because you gotta pay me to say it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something negative.
Blue Jays like.
Don't even give it to them. Don't even give it to them. They gotta pay $3.
You know what we were gonna say, but you gotta give us the money.
Yeah.
I feel like such an asshole every time I say that. I'm just like, you gotta give me your hard-earned dollars.
Give your money to say things on our kitchen table.
This is our table that we eat at.
It's something we eat at, and then it turns into like a podcast.
Yeah, this is like full like multi-purpose thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, let's talk about what happened today. This was a
battle of the pitchers.
Yeah.
To start. It was Blake Snell versus the LA Dodgers bullpen. And it was surprisingly the LA Dodger bullpen had more strikeouts than Blake Snell through, I believe it was five innings, and Blake Snell had 9 strikeouts.
Well, how many bloody Ks were there in So the Rays struck out a total of 16 times, and the Dodgers struck out a total of 11 times. That's 27 strikeouts.
So half the outs in the game.
Yeah, that is a lot of Ks to have in a game like this, man. Especially when you're considering like the offenses that these guys have.
Yeah, right.
I know that the Rays aren't necessarily known for their elite offense, but they have been having guys, do well and stuff.
And what's crazy is the Dodgers actually struck out more in this series than the Rays have. So there's been a lot of strikeouts this series. And what's crazy, it's like, obviously the whole Rosarina getting the leadoff home run to start the game was like, all right, here we go. The floodgates are coming.
Yeah.
Nope. Gets shut down after that. Blake Snell was absolutely dominant, only giving up 2 hits in his outing.
Blake Snell looked like Cy Young Blake Snell.
Cy Young. But,
he looked like Cy Young Blake Snell.
I had thoughts of like, okay, this is where he begins his long career of elites. This is where he begins his Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
And it's still going that way.
Oh, I mean, Blake Snell is I don't think he's a Hall of Famer yet, but he is absolutely an elite,
building a resume
baseball player. And he has been for a couple of years now. But like tonight was something else, man.
Yeah.
This is arguably the best lineup in baseball. Maybe not even arguably. They just won the bloody World Series.
Yeah.
So the best lineup in baseball, and he was dicing them.
He struck out Betts twice, Turner twice, and I believe it was did he struck out Seager twice? Anyways, Betts and Turner for sure twice.
And any contact that was on him was weak contact. It was quick outs. It was like when he got pulled, it wasn't 80 pitches. It was like 73 pitches that this guy had, and he was in the 6th inning right now. Like in a regular season game, like this is not the World Series. You're not on the line. This guy could have made it, like 7, 8 innings potentially, and that's with the way he was going.
And that's the thing. It's like I would let him go 7, 8, but then you have a couple arguments. One of them I'm not going to get to just yet. The first one is, Blake Snell's never pitched 6 innings this year at all. He's never pitched 6 innings this year at all. Okay, fine, okay. But then there's the other argument of the daunted, and I've heard it so many times this year, it's the third time through the lineup. And then batters averages through the third time through the lineup go over 300. They skyrocket.
Mm-hmm.
However, that was his second hit. He gave up a hit in the sixth inning, and he got yanked right after that. And I'm thinking why? Why such a quick hook? No warning. It was just straight. The pitch note to come out was just straight hook.
Yeah, straight hook. And Blake Snell was pissed, bro. Like, he did not want to get taken off. And I feel for that guy. Like, I wouldn't want to get taken off. Like, when you're an athlete like that, when you're locked in. Oh, yeah. And like, he was locked in. Yeah. He gave up one hit. And this, the inning started, like, he gave up. It was like a very simple, like
single up the middle.
And then the single came. So we already had one out in this inning. Like you said, he struck out Betts twice. He looked dominant. I would say, like, let the man do what he's doing instead of yanking him early. And then inevitably, based on what you did, that caused 2 runs to come in off of Nick Anderson.
Because Nick Anderson hasn't been doing well at all. Like,
Not during the postseason.
His ERA inflated a crap load, but it was around 5.
Yeah, it was around 5 when he came into this game. And, don't get me wrong, I really like Nick Anderson. Yeah. I think that Nick Anderson is an exceptional closer. And, if you have him, you should absolutely use him in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
When Blake Snell's at his pitch count.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that brings the question, and I want, like, you guys to kind of talk about this too in the comments, is like, where do we stop listening to analytics? Mm-hmm. When do we stop? Because we all know the Tampa Bay Rays have that's been their whole thing. We don't have any money. We got to use superhuman powers, those robot technologies to kind of take us through. And like us Blue Jays fans, we're kind of seeing that seep into our system with a lot of Tampa Bay coaching. So this applies to us too. When do we stop? We kind of talked about this before. Like, what's
when the game starts? When the game starts. My thinking is, you need to know the squad that you have, and you got to know your guys, and you got to know that, all the analytics in the world will tell you that Blake Snell is an elite pitcher, and he is now, the game has started, and he is looking dominant. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I just don't get why you would take him out in that situation.
It's like, who else do you want pitching the most critical game of the entire season? Mm-hmm. I want Blake Snell when he's on fire. Like, sure, if Blake Snell's on fire, get him out of there. Maybe he let up, 2-3 runs, it's 5-6 hits, and his command's been all over the place, and he just let up another hit. Yeah. Sure.
Absolutely. Sure. Get him out, man. But
putting someone down.
Not when you're watching and you're seeing, oh my gosh, this guy is commanding every pitch in his arsenal. Mm-hmm. He's getting some of the best hitters in baseball to swing and miss at stuff that's outside of the zone. They showed a graphic up there, and all of his Ks, it was all these things painting outside the zone. I don't. When analytics needs to stop when you're in the game. Before the game, you look at it all and you say, okay, this is what we got. These are the numbers. This is who we're facing. This is our strategy.
And that's the thing, is you can I totally get it. You come in with the strategy. You come in with okay, I see that now in this third time through the lineup, Blake Snell might run into a little bit of trouble. Mm-hmm. But if you see him, yes, he gave up 1 hit. If he gives up 2 hits, okay, now we're starting to see the trouble arising. 3 hits, yeah, maybe get him out of there. But 1 hit and you yank him, I'm just not a fan.
Agreed. It was too early, and that's going to be we're going to hear that all across social media. It's going to be blowing up. Every analyst in baseball is going to be talking about it. Yeah. One thing I also want to talk about too, just on this Rays lineup, before we kind of talk about the Dodgers, I guess, is who the hell is Randy Rosarito? Where does this guy come from? He just popped up, and I was like, what is this guy? The last thing that I want, and I'm thinking now for future times, future times, it's the last thing that the bloody Rays need is some good hitting. Yeah. Right, and now that they got this guy, I'm just are you kidding me? At least I knew when we were going up against them maybe we could win like 3-2 or something.
Yeah.
It's like we can't afford to be like having elite hitters like this guy with a 364 average, setting postseason records on home runs and.
That's enough. Look,
you gotta cool off.
There's only so much room in the AL East for good teams. Okay, I can't be having this, man. Honestly, they're a good team. They deserve it. You know what? They won the AL, so that's good for them. They deserved it. Best record in the league. Whereas the Dodgers absolutely deserve this one. If they didn't, that's just going to be, honestly, I'd be sad because as a Blue Jays fan, you know, I'm seeing the future, and it's like, I'm seeing maybe like a 8 to 10 year window of potential opportunity, and it's like if we take stabs at the World Series, but we come up short, I would be very sad after 30 plus years of not seeing any World Series action.
The Dodgers did everything right. And what I mean by that is when you look back at the 2015, 2016 Blue Jays, like it seemed like they were really out to buy, like build a team, that didn't have that cohesion, that didn't have that core group. The Dodgers had that core group, realized it, and went out and bought that one piece. That one piece that you needed that would turn the tide, that would change things around. And that's always how it works, man. It's like you can't go out and buy everything. You need to get to a place where it's like, okay, if we just have this one extra thing, Mookie Betts, it will put us over the edge, and it definitely did.
It even showed with that homer he hit today.
They are the best team in baseball right now. They will be the best team in baseball coming into next year. And they will continue to be at least a top 5 team next year and probably for years to come with the group that they have here.
Yeah, man, I'm jealous of what they have. Like they have young guys too. You look at Bellinger, Seager. You look at Buehler. You look at their other pitcher,
Kershaw.
Kershaw.
Kershaw is pretty good.
The old vets, finally deserving his ring.
Yeah, and I'm so happy for Kershaw, man. Like I think he really put to bed the whole narrative of Kershaw can't pitch in the postseason. And he did.
He smashed that.
Yeah, he smashed that. He got his ring. He's 1,000% going to the Hall of Fame. Like Clayton Kershaw. I'm honestly a big supporter of if it's not going to be my team that's going to win, I think it should be the team most deserving to win. And this year it was the Dodgers, they did win. So I have to give them the respect for that.
Absolutely. This was the one that was coming, and it would have been... Congratulations, guys.
And now you guys can fuck off for several years and let other teams... No, they won't.
They're going to be there for... I could say, well, how long is Mookie's contract for?
Yeah, literally, how long is Mookie's contract? And one thing that you mentioned, too, right before this started, and I actually totally forgot about this guy, was literally Gavin Lux.
Oh, my God. They're
Gavin
Lux is coming
very
out.
Top prospect they just have, waiting, to be brought in. And Corey Seager, just resurfaced this year. He had a bit of a down year in 2019, but man, he is back with a vengeance in 2020 and is going to win the World Series MVP.
And small question: do you think that they'll get Muncy back, or are they going to let him go? Oh, not Muncy, sorry, Turner.
Turner? I don't know, man. I'm not as familiar with the Dodgers contracts and everything like that. You got to think these guys are probably strapped for money a bit, but they're also the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's honestly, they might let him go. I mean, they have, for literally freaking Gavin Lux coming back.
I would say that they're probably going to let him go, because Gavin Lux he's a second baseman, but
they can move people.
They can probably move people around, and and I mean, he won your ring, and you're probably going to start to.
You did it. So now it's time to shuffle some things, So
for sure.
Congratulations, guys.
Man, I couldn't help but watching that game, just thinking, and I'm like, damn, what if that was us, right?
Yeah. I mean,
if that was real.
Remember seeing that one guy going and you were like, whoa, that guy's going crazy. And
literally, if that was my team,
smashing things, I just want to punch things. Like I'm in 6 outs.
Bro, like if we won, like I think I'd go like full like Gollum. Like I'd be like Vlad, my precious, like literally like primitive form. Like,
I already know I'm gonna be crying, man. Like I'm gonna be first of all, I'm already gonna be super drunk.
It's gonna be like a mixture of like a cry, scream, like seizure-esque motion.
Like hugging people and like remember the Raptors one in like the streets of Toronto?
Yeah, bro. Like I'm like
I'm not even a Raptors fan.
Like, I'm not a huge basketball follower, and I was like, I fucking love you, man.
Like everyone's like coming at me like, yeah. I'm like, God damn it.
So
we made friends with those random people up in that little small town.
Yeah, I barely remember. But yeah, guys, I can't wait for when This Is Us. We were also just as a quick note, but we were kind of thinking about it, and it's like an average baseball team would win the World Series once every 30 years, considering there is X amount of teams. A below average team wins it less than 30 years, and an above average team would win it more than 30 years. Well, it's going to be right around the 30-year mark very bloody soon for the Blue Jays. So, guys.
It's time. This is the time, guys. And we're excited to bring you guys all of that Blue Jays content from here on out into the 2021 campaign. Hopefully we get 162 games. And hopefully baseball comes back to Canada. And we can watch the games ourselves, Blue Jays fans.
That'd be amazing.
We're going to be there, absolutely. Of course, probably some social distancing required. Regardless, that atmosphere is going to be unreal. So, guys, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about the LA Dodgers winning the World Series? And when do you think the Blue Jays are going to win the World Series? Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, guys, you can also check us out on Anchor, Breaker Radio, Public, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Also, make sure to check out our Instagram. We're always posting stuff on there. And subscribe to the YouTube and become a Patreon member once again.
And thank you so much for watching it and for a great season, too. Thank you for being along for this great season.
Seriously, I guess that's one thing that we didn't even mention, but this was the last game of baseball, so... here's to a wonderful offseason, to many Trevor Bauer-esque signings.
Bunch of fans going crazy.
Congratulations once again to the Dodgers, and go Jays, go.